Hello, my name is Ali and welcome to my channel. We are back with Caller X Malice, Shiraishi's route. Let's go. Come to think of it, he didn't seem particularly bothered when I gulped his drink at the bar. I guess he just doesn't consider me someone he would look at in that way. Something about that made me feel a little sad. Ah well, it's not like that's a huge revelation. He probably doesn't care about romantic stuff. Letting the thought drop, I pulled my bento box back towards me and reached for another bite. By the way, that makes 2 indirect kisses we've shared now, right? He leaned way forward as he said that, too. My cheeks instantly felt like they were on fire. But I refused to let Shiraishi mess with me and get away with it scot-free. We are going to turn away and pout. Okay. I could tell this argument was lost before I even opened my mouth. And in that case, I sniffed and shifted my body so I couldn't see him anymore and ate dinner that way. Oh my gosh, I hope you didn't hear that. My stomach just let out a huge growl. There. How's that for a non-reaction? Now he has no way to get back at me. Patting myself on the back for my brilliant idea, I settled in to enjoy my dinner. Aw, now you aren't looking at me. That's mean. Oh well, I could just scoot over right in front of you again, like this. I heard the sound of a chair scraping the floor, and suddenly he was in front of me again. Undisturbed, I kept up the resistance by simply turning and looking another direction. Oh my god, he was like a cat trying to get your attention. The chair scraped, and he was back in front of me. Giving in meant losing. I shifted, looking back the other way. I thought you said you didn't hate me. Do you hate me again already? Huh? Hearing uncertainty in his voice, I shook my head. No, I haven't. Gotcha again. You're too nice a person to suddenly be that rude to someone else for long. Urk! You even fell for my act, too, though I must say, I'm not too upset by it. His affection is up. His voice oozed smugness, making me feel all the more frustrated. Damn it. I should have completely ignored him. Sorry. Playing with you is now part of my daily routine. Give up. I'm not sure I can accept that deal. Ugh, wordless pressure. Too intense. Okay, I give up. Really? Great. Now that I officially have your permission, I can play with you as much as I want. Whatever. Realizing that resistance was futile, I gave up and just let him do what he wanted. Maybe this is what Yanagi meant when he said it wasn't that bad once you got used to it. I finished my dinner, using a few pieces of fried chicken to distract Shiraishi from staring at me. Now that our appetites have been sated, you're free until you get a call, right? Not really. I have filing to do and reports to write. Yeah. I'm sure that's important, but isn't solving the case important too? All right. Here. I put together a quick diagram of the way things stand as we currently understand them. Oh, interesting. Wow, this diagram really feels handcrafted. You have a good eye for design. The design's not important. It's the relationships that matter. I traced the line I had drawn connecting Mrs. Uno and Ms. Takeuchi with a finger. Ms. Takeuchi and Mrs. Uno were friends. But according to Ms. Takeuchi, Mrs. Uno committed S due to stress from child raising. Ms. Takeuchi herself quit her job soon after that. That she was supposedly a wreck at the time means Mrs. Uno's death may have been a factor in that. Ken Hachisuka was Ms. Takeuchi's student. Supposedly, he had a crush on Mrs. Uno. He is also the victim in September's case. When confronted with the topic of Hachisuka, Ms. Takeuchi seemed afraid. What she said is in response leads me to believe she regrets something. Yuki Tsunemori allegedly murdered Hachisuka, 10 years ago, both of them were classmates at the same free school. With no obvious trouble between them, it is not likely a grudge was acted upon. In fact, it seems like they may have been friends. However, according to witness testimony, they did not contact each other after graduation. During questioning, Tsunemori boasted about his strength multiple times. It seemed he had little qualm about killing things. As for his motive, he is on record as having said that he wanted to try killing a person, so he did. Looks pretty much like your garden variety BPD case to me. BPD. BPD, or borderline personality disorder, is a serious mental disorder marked by a pattern of instability in mood, behavior, and ability to function. The instability often leads to impulsive actions. Okay. It didn't matter to Tsunemori if he loved or hated Hachisuka. People like him are best with chronic urges to kill and will commit violence at random. But all we know for certain right now is that all of these people were at that school 10 years ago. Right. And in the case that Adonis really did murder someone in October, it is possible the victim also has some sort of connection to the free school 10 years ago. Ms. Takeuchi's mental state, Mrs. Uno's S, something must have been going on back then. I had the same idea, so I dug into it some more. I discovered the whole damn place was a cesspool. And by that you mean Hachisuka's mom was an actress, so obviously she was well known. And she didn't like looking bad, so she paid people to get rid of her problems. I came across a whole mountain of ugly little incidents that she had buried lest they make it into the public eye and tarnish her image. How did you find something like that out? There are people who can get all kinds of information if you just pay them enough. I paid one of them a pricely sum, so he was... Oh, wrong button. I accidentally pushed a button. Sorry. So he was able to dig really deep into things for me. I had heard there were people who made a living by selling information to anyone who paid, but I wasn't really sure how ethical it was for an on-duty police officer to make use of one. You're wondering if you should call me out on my ethics, or just look the other way, aren't you? You do realize that we are almost out of time, right? I know. I'm sorry. Please continue. I told myself it was a necessary evil to solve the case and let Shiraishi continue talking. Wise decision. So, Hachisuka's mom, apparently she was making very large donations to that free school with regularity. Her son's old high school had basically kicked him out, so I'm guessing she was sweetening the deal to keep the same thing from happening again. Effectively, that meant that the faculty's hands were tied when it came to her child. So when Ms. Takeuchi said she didn't have a choice, she meant that she had to do whatever Hachisuka told her to. Probably. On one side, you have one teacher. On the other, their primary benefactor. It's obvious which side the school would take. Right. The school clearly took the benefactor, of course. The side that had all their money. Their benefactor. Money makes the world go round. I bet the school board pocketed most of it too. Accepting those donations was basically bribery in the first place. They embezzled on top of that? Whoa. Take it down a notch. You let this get to you and you'll go insane. Plus, that's not relevant to our case anyway. Understood? Right. Sucking up to their benefactor netted significant amounts of money for the school. That means that if Hachisuka caused any problems, the school would likely offer to cover them up. What? Then Hachisuka was effectively free to do whatever he wanted. Exactly. All the records from back then sung his praises to high heaven, but in reality the school probably fabricated them all to hide the truth. Now we know Hachisuka had a crush on Mrs. Uno. Normally, a mere teacher has no business going against the wishes of their benefactor's son. But Mrs. Uno was already married. She couldn't reciprocate his feelings. Apparently, she came under fire from Hachisuka's groupies because of it too. The poor woman was stuck between a rock and a hard place. The way everything was coming together, it seemed that Hachisuka was the center of the whole issue. Hachisuka thought he'd get Uno to do what he wanted, but she defied him and turned him down. If you were him, what would you think of that? Huh? A person you thought was yours to manipulate as you wished instead resisted your will. What reaction would you have to that? If I put myself in Hachisuka's shoes, I'd be furious. That's what we're going to say. Well, since he had a big crush on her, he would probably be really mad about it. Right. She didn't just dump him. She said no, even when he held absolute authority over her. Yeah. Pubescent guys are sensitive about that stuff. Love can become hate in an instant. She didn't love me turns into she made a fool of me, and that leads to a wish for retaliation. What? But that's totally unjustified. Hachisuka was raised getting everything his little heart desired from Mommy. I doubt being told no would sit very well with him. Even without direct action, it could still destroy her life pretty easily, considering the entire school bowed to his every whim. I figure his original intention was just to make up all kinds of scandalous lies until either she got fired or she felt pressured into quitting. But he went overboard, and the pressure was enough to drive her to commit S. It wasn't just S. She murdered her husband. And though her attempt failed, she also tried to take her 2 children with her too. Hachisuka promptly took measures to make sure no evidence remained that could tie it back to him. Uno was a seasoned counselor. A few pranks from jealous girls probably wouldn't rattle her. That she was driven to murderous desperation means there was more than just jealous girls involved. Then Hachisuka had a co-conspirator. Someone Hachisuka could use to threaten Uno without him ever having to get his hands dirty. Someone who wasn't as obvious as a mob of jealous groupies. Is it Ms. Takeuchi? Or Tsunemori. Don't know. Maybe Tsunemori, because he seems like the type that'll do anything he wanted. Someone who was close to him and easy enough to manipulate into doing what he wanted. Yeah, Tsunemori. Okay, I was wrong with Takeuchi. It's Tsunemori. I was thinking maybe because Takeuchi was her friend, he could have tried to use the benefactor thing over her head. But then I'm like, I think Tsunemori would be more easily, to believe him, I guess you could say. He was supposedly friends with Hachisuka. Given his temperament, it's likely he was willing to. That's what I thought too. I went back over all the records that pertain to Ms. Uno. I found Tsunemori had counseling appointments with Uno, lots of them. They were one-on-one meetings where they could talk uninterrupted. Before, we had nothing to connect Tsunemori to Uno. But if we followed this line of reasoning, I love how it changes too on the picture. It looks like the real origin of Uno's S lies with Hachisuka. Right. We don't have evidence of Tsunemori's involvement, but given his mental issues, I doubt he quietly sat and let himself be counseled. Now, there's one more thing I'm curious about. Hachisuka's groupies. It seems most of them went with juvenile, spur-of-the-moment pranks, but one got her parents involved, making the issue more public. Shiraishi? Looking down at the diagram, I saw Shiraishi tapping his finger on Hachisuka's name. You wouldn't happen to know the name of the girl who did that, would you? Oh, hang on a minute. I have my notes from the call. I pulled out the list of names I wrote down earlier and quickly skimmed through it. Aha! Here she is. Misako Yoshitani. I called her, but I didn't get a response. No response, A girl who had a crush on Hachisuka. To her, Uno would be a rival to eliminate. And in that case... Shiraishi paused, then opened his mouth to speak. I'm guessing it's Seiki? That's my guess.
Yo, Hoshino. I heard you were on duty today, so I brought...
I was right, cool. Seiki came strolling into the office with a cheery smile, one that froze when he saw us.
Oh, sorry. I'm totally a third wheel right now, aren't I?
Still holding the bag of snacks he'd brought, he started shuffling backwards towards the door. No, it's okay. You weren't interrupting anything. I quickly rolled up the diagram, turning around to look at him. Come on, have a seat.
You sure? Okay then.
Seiki walked up to us, still obviously feeling awkward, and bowed to Shiraishi.
I'm Yuzuru Seiki. I joined the force at the same time as Hoshino. She's a great girl, so you better treat her right.
What? Whoa, wait. You have the wrong idea. I hurriedly explained to him how the rumor was false. Afterwards, he gave me a worried look.
The rumor's all over the station now, you know. Well, people have short memories. They'll forget all about it soon enough.
I hope so. Though, if we don't somehow avert X-Day, we might not all be alive long enough to forget. Hey, don't say stuff like that.
Shiraishi does have a point, though. There's no telling what Adonis will try next.
True. I nodded slowly, for obvious reasons. Whenever the topic came up, my neck started prickling. I have to capture Adonis before X-Day and have them take my collar off. Otherwise... Oh, Seiki brought energy drinks. Do you tilt your head back and chug these? No. Oh, so do you stick your pinky out? Yell, that's energy, when you finish the bottle? Shiraishi, what is wrong with you? No, and also no. I try to have more dignity when I drink my drinks. Really? Oh, so you don't do it the normal way? I think your idea of normal and everyone else's idea of normal are two different things.
Who worries about how you drink a drink? You just drink it. Jeez, you two really are the same wave.
Oh my god, why can't I say wavelength? This is the third time I've tried to say it, and it's like, nope,
and stuff. It's funny.
Asking a barrage questions, isn't it supposed to be a barrage of questions about the most mundane things is a bad habit of his. I think it's supposed to be a barrage of questions, but I may be completely wrong. Trying to answer him every time gets tiring.
Still, from the way you were chirping back and forth, it's obvious you two are comfortable. It's no wonder those rumors are spreading. Damn it. Just you watch. I'll find a Christmas date for myself in no time, flat. You won't outdo me.
Does he have a secret crush on her? I feel like it. And with that dastardly villainesque line, Seiki turned and ran out of the room. Yeah, Seiki can be like that. Kinda impulsive, kinda weird. Is something wrong? I'm gonna let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!